I want you to listen closely, not with your outer ears, but with the ear of understanding. Let the words I speak tonight not just reach your intellect, but penetrate the deep stillness of your inner being. For I speak now not to your mortal self, but to the immortal I am that dwells in you, the creative, eternal power which is God. The world calls it wishful thinking, but I tell you to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way of all creation. It is the law, the only law there is. Everything else is shadow play. What you see around you, the bills, the empty wallet, the humble apartment, the old clothes, these are but outer effects of inner causes. The world reflects what you imagine and believe to be true. Therefore, if you truly dare to say within yourself, I am a millionaire this month, and believe it, then you have already set the wheels in motion. You are now walking the bridge of incidents to its fulfillment. Let no man, no outer circumstance, rob you of the truth that I am is the name of God, and God cannot be mocked. Whatever you declare with the inner voice of conviction, with the knowing that it is so, shall be made manifest in your world. The promise is eternal. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Do not pray and then doubt. Do not affirm and then look anxiously at the clock. Creation is finished. All that you desire already exists in a higher dimension, waiting for your assumption to call it forth into this one. You are not to question how it will happen, nor trouble yourself with the outer means. That is not your domain. Your work is singular, to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and to live from it. When you say, I am a millionaire this month, say it not as one pleading to be, but as one who already is. Walk through your days as if it were already true, and the universe will rush to rearrange itself around that truth. But you must not play with it. You must not say, I am one moment, and I wish I could be the next. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Your assumption must be so consistent, so natural, that it feels as though it has always been true. When you rise in the morning, dress as one who has already received. When you speak, speak with the calm authority of one who knows their wealth is secure. When you eat, do so with the ease and confidence of one who knows that abundance surrounds them. This is not fantasy. This is not delusion. This is creation, conscious, deliberate, and lawful. The world was created by imagination, and it will always respond to imagination. There is no other creator but God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you imagine yourself into a state and persist in it, you are praying in the only manner that works. Let the old self die, the self who waits, who hopes, who begs. Let that man be crucified, and let the new self rise, the one who knows I am a millionaire this month. Feel the richness, not as a hope, but as your current reality. Every night as you prepare to sleep, enter into that feeling. Let your final thoughts before sleep be the joy of your success. Feel the softness of fine linen. Hear the words of congratulations. Smell the leather of the new car. Taste the fruits of luxury. Engage all your senses in that imagined reality until it feels more real than the outer world. This month, not some distant future. Why this month? Because time is only a construct of the mind. The difference between now and then is only the difference in assumption. There is no power outside of you delaying your manifestation. There is only your own hesitation to fully believe that it is done. You say, but I don't see the money yet. And I say to you, you don't need to see it to know it. For we walk by faith and not by sight. Your senses lie. They show you the past. They are echoes, not truth. Truth is what you decree it to be. Do not serve your senses. Let them serve you. The outer world will bend to your inner conviction, for the outer is but a shadow of the inner light. You are not to fight the shadow. You are to change the light, the image, and the shadow will transform on its own. So this month, this very month, I declare that I am a millionaire, and in saying it, I invite you to join me. Let it be your daily meditation. Let it be the breath you breathe. Do not say it with doubt or fear, but with the authority of one who has awakened. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place of clouds and harps, but of conscious creation. You are the operant power. You are the one who commands. Let there be, and it is so. When I say I am, I speak the name of God, not Jehovah of ancient tongues, not some distant deity, but the I am within me. the still small voice, the awareness of being, that is God. And what you attach to I am you create. So do not attach sickness, do not attach lack, do not attach waiting, attach only what you desire, and do so boldly. If the world calls you mad, rejoice, for it is written God chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. The world believes only what it can touch and see, but you are not of this world. You are from above. You are spirit, clothed in flesh, but not bound by it. Your power is in consciousness. So live now as if it were done. Say to yourself each morning, thank you, Father, that it is already so. Say it with joy, with reverence, with confidence. When the doubts arise, and they will, do not feed them, starve them. Return to your assumption. Walk in the feeling. Let it possess you. Let it inform every thought, every gesture, every breath. You are not trying to become a millionaire. You already are, in this very moment, because you have assumed the state. The law does not fail. It is as certain as gravity. But unlike gravity, it works only when you operate it. It does not impose itself upon you. It waits for your command. And once you command, it responds. The story is told of Moses, who asked God, what is your name? And God replied, I am that I am. Not I will be, not I hope to be, but I am. This is the eternal truth, that what you declare I am to be, so shall it become. So let this be your declaration. I am a millionaire this month. Say it until you no longer need to say it, until the feeling saturates your being. Forget how, forget when, forget all outer considerations. Your work is within. Your responsibility is to assume and persist. Do not be shaken by what others say. The opinions of the world are powerless, unless you give them power. Do not bow to circumstances. Circumstances are but the reflections of your prior thoughts. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the author of your destiny. So rise in consciousness. Live in the end. Dwell in the reality of your fulfilled desire. See yourself in your new home. Feel the wealth in your bank account. Hear the laughter of your loved ones as they celebrate your success. Do not wait for the evidence. Be the cause of the evidence. I tell you this because I have lived it. I have seen men and women transform their entire lives by nothing more than a change in consciousness. I have seen beggars become princes. I have seen the ill rise from their beds. I have seen the desperate become divine, and all by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You do not need credentials. You do not need connections. You do not need to beg or scheme. All you need is the capacity to imagine, and the courage to believe. For belief is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And if you falter, return to the inner sanctuary. Return to that secret place within where your I am resides. Close the door to the world. Enter the silence. And there declare again, I am a millionaire this month. Say it softly. Say it boldly. Say it until your bones vibrate with the truth of it. And watch as the outer world reshapes itself. Watch as miracles unfold, not by magic, but by law. Watch as you are guided, inspired, led to the people, the places, the opportunities that align with your new state. Watch as old limitations dissolve and new paths appear. This is the art of prayer. This is the science of manifestation. This is the secret that sages have guarded for centuries. That God is your own wonderful human imagination, and that what you dare to assume, you bring into being. So now, my friend, assume it, not next month, not someday, but now, this month. Let July be the month that the world sees what you've already known within. Let it be the month your inner conviction becomes outer fact. Let it be the month you say not I will be, but I am. And remember this always. Feeling is the secret. Persist in the feeling. Dwell in the mood. Sleep in the assumption. And when you rise, let the world marvel, for they will not know the inner act that preceded the outer change. You will know, and in knowing, you will be free. They will see the money in your hands, the house with golden handles, the car that glides like a whisper, and they will say, how did it happen? And you will smile, not with pride, but with the quiet knowing of one who has seen the unseen. For you will understand that it did not come from effort alone, nor from toil or striving, but from a sacred act of assumption. You dared to believe, and that belief clothed itself in flesh. You see, creation does not respond to the noise of the outer world. It responds to the stillness of the inner vision. When you assumed with full conviction, I am a millionaire this month, all of heaven moved to fulfill that word. Invisible hands rearranged visible things. Conversations shifted. Doors opened. Checks arrived. Ideas sparked. But none of this began on the outside. It all began the moment you believed within. And now, because you live from the end, you are unmoved by appearances. You are not shaken by a slow day or a delayed message. You know the truth. You feel it. You dwell in it. I am a millionaire this month is no longer just an affirmation. It is your dwelling place. It is your home. It is the air you breathe. And because you have remained faithful to that assumption, the promise cannot fail. Your world must conform to the image you hold within. Do not dilute the law with questions of how. Do not insult your own divinity with doubt. The how is none of your business. Your work is to imagine and feel. The universe, that perfect servant, responds in kind. It will bring you through ways you cannot devise, effortlessly, gracefully, and in perfect time. But your time is now, this month. You have declared it. You have embodied it. You have felt it in your bones. If ever you feel the temptation to slip back into the old man, the one who hopes and waits and worries, gently bring yourself back. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And say again, I remember who I am. That is your anchor. That is your truth. You are not becoming. You are revealing. The wealth was always yours. The mansion, the influence, the abundance. It has been yours from the foundation of the world. You are merely awakening to it now. So speak it with conviction. Write it upon your heart. Whisper it in your prayers. I am a millionaire this month. Say it until your inner speech becomes a chorus of certainty. Let every cell of your body align with that reality. And when the evidence appears, as it must, receive it with gratitude, but not surprise. For you knew it all along. You lived it first in imagination. That is the only way anything real is ever born. Live in the joy of it now. Walk in the confidence of it now. Spend from it mentally. Give from it spiritually. Celebrate it emotionally. For as you feel, so shall it be. This is the law, simple, unchanging, eternal. So tonight, as you lie down to sleep, enter into the scene that implies your wealth is already yours. Perhaps you're holding the balance sheet, seeing all the zeros lined up in your favor. Perhaps you're walking out of the bank with a smile, or hosting your loved ones in your new home, the one that sits atop the hill. Let it be vivid. Let it be real. And above all, let it be now. For the only time there is now. And the only power there is I am. Feel the floor beneath your feet, not as it is, but as it would be. Marble, polished, cool, reflecting the chandelier light of your new mansion. Hear your own footsteps echo in wide halls of affluence. Smell the richness of fresh-cut flowers, in vases you didn't have to budget for. Touch the fabric of the tailored clothes that now drape your body, custom-made not just in size, but in the truth of who you have become. See the numbers on your phone screen, in your banking app, in the transfer notifications, and feel no surprise, only the calm knowing, of course. Of course, this is mine. It always was. Do you see what happens when you remain loyal to your assumption? The outer must yield. The world must bow to the command of the inner man. This is not philosophy. This is law. The law of consciousness. The law of assumption. The only law worth mastering. The moment you said with feeling, I am a millionaire this month, you entered a contract with yourself, not a binding of duty or pressure, but a sacred agreement of trust. And the moment you remained faithful to that inner vision, everything around you began to respond. Some things shifted gently. Others were torn down entirely to make room. Friends fell away. New connections arrived. Circumstances that once stood in your way crumbled like paper in fire. You began to notice the synchronicities. A sudden email, an invitation, a chance conversation, a new stream of income. Ideas that came not with strain but with clarity, and with them ease and flow. You did not chase. You attracted. You did not force. You allowed. For the seed was already planted, and your job was simply to water it with feeling, to feel it real, until it bloomed in your hands. And still the world may ask you, what changed? What did you do differently? But you will not speak of doing. You will speak of being. You will say, I remembered who I am. I stopped pretending to be poor. I stopped imagining failure. I stopped praying for what I already possess. I chose instead to live from the end. And from that end I began again. Do you not see? This is the mystery Paul spoke of. Christ in you, the hope of glory. The inner man, the awareness of being, is the Christ. And that Christ is the only power that saves. It does not matter what the outer self has done, or where it has failed. The moment the inner self assumes a new identity, the world obeys. Not slowly, not eventually, but immediately in spirit, and soon in fact. The delay, if ever there is one, is not a denial. It is simply the time it takes for your assumption to become your dwelling place, not a place you visit when you feel inspired, but a place you live from day and night. You see, the man who becomes a millionaire is the man who already was one in consciousness. The money came second, the identity came first, and now you carry yourself with that calm certainty. There is no rush, no anxiety, no need to convince anyone. You know who you are, and so the world mirrors that back to you. You see wealth not just in your accounts but in your surroundings, in your choices, in the way others treat you. Not because you demand it, but because you finally accepted it. Acceptance, that is the key. The law works not through striving, but through surrender. Not surrender to outer events, but to the truth within. You surrendered the old story, the old name, the old ceiling, and you took upon yourself a new name. I am a millionaire this month. And that name, like a seed, bore fruit after its kind. You didn't need to wait for the evidence to celebrate. You didn't postpone your joy for proof. You made joy the proof. You lived in thanksgiving before the outer harvest arrived. You smiled before the world gave you a reason. That's the secret most miss. They wait for the outer to give permission to feel. But the awakened man, the man who knows the law, he gives himself the permission. He says, I feel wealthy now. I celebrate now. I am grateful now. And the world must echo that feeling. The outer world is nothing but a mirror. It cannot initiate. It can only reflect. So when you shifted the inner mood, when you dared to walk, talk, think, and sleep in the state of wealth, the mirror had no choice. It had to show you a wealthy reflection. That is why the law cannot fail. The mirror cannot argue with you. It only obeys. And the moment you turned your inner gaze toward riches, toward ease, toward generosity, and overflowing abundance, the mirror began to move. No man or system could stop it. No circumstance could delay it. Because you had moved from trying to make it happen, to simply being the one in whom it has already happened. I am is not a future tense. It is present, immediate, powerful. When you say, I am a millionaire this month, you are not casting a vote. You are casting a decree. You are calling things that are not seen as though they are. And in doing so you are pulling them into form. Some people think that wealth is only found in the bank, but true wealth begins in the mind. It begins in your assumptions about who you are and what you deserve. You did not become a millionaire because the world handed it to you. You became one because you refused to imagine anything less. You lifted your thoughts above the noise, above the worry, above the evidence, and you imagined from a higher place. And the world, obedient, creative, eternal, reshaped itself around that new elevation. It may have started subtly, a refund you weren't expecting, an idea that turned into income, an offer out of nowhere. But those were just outer symbols of the inner shift. The moment you embodied the assumption, the moment you said, I am a millionaire this month, and felt it to be so, that moment was the moment it became real. You let go of time. You let go of waiting. You let go of hoping. You let go of hoping. You let go of asking. And you began assuming. You began living in the end. You walked through your day as if the universe were your servant. And indeed it is. You began choosing as if limits did not apply to you. You began giving as if you had more than enough. And you did. You began responding to life not from fear, but from authority. The authority that comes from knowing, I am. And now the outer begins to roar. The money flows. The ideas multiply. The opportunities present themselves like a flood. You're not overwhelmed. You are centered. You are grounded in the I am. The world may think it all came out of nowhere, but you know better. You know it came from within, from your own divine imagination, from the truth you dared to feel real before it ever touched your senses. Keep going. Persist. Because this isn't just about money. This is about who you are, a being of infinite power, clothed in the flesh, sent here not to suffer, but to remember. And the moment you remembered that you are the operant power, everything changed. And so the abundance does not surprise you. It confirms you. It confirms what you knew all along, in the silence of your own inner chamber, that you were never small, never lacking, never waiting for some external permission to receive. You were and are, and always will be, the source, the fountainhead of all appearances. And when you finally honored that truth by feeling it deeply, consistently and joyfully, life bowed, life yielded, life came running to greet its new master. Now others look at you and ask for the strategy, the steps, the actions you took.
but you cannot give them a formula, because the formula is not in doing, it is in being. You might smile and say, I believed, but belief is not a surface thought. It is not a wish, it is a knowing, a surrender into a state so fully felt that the world around you simply had to conform. You see now why it had to happen this month. Because this was the moment you stopped delaying your inheritance. This was the moment you stopped measuring yourself by outer standards, and dared to measure yourself by inner truth. This was the month you refused to argue for your limitations. This was the month you said, I am, and you said it with finality, not as a rehearsal, not as a future projection, but as the undeniable present fact. When the inner man rises to speak with that certainty, the universe listens, all the forces move. People, places, things, all respond to that single voice, that divine echo of I am, the same voice that said, let there be light, the same voice that called forth the stars, the oceans, and the very breath you breathe. That voice now says, I am a millionaire this month, and all of life rearranges itself to say yes. There is no resistance in divine law. The resistance only ever came from you, when you doubted, when you looked outside, when you hesitated to feel it real. But now, that resistance is gone. The walls have fallen. You walk in freedom, and the money, the manifestations, the miracles, they are merely symbols, echoes of the shift that happened within. You live no longer as the old man, bound by history and circumstance. You live now as the awakened one. You walk in the end. You speak from the mountaintop. You look back, not forward. You remember the hunger, the fear, the wishing, but only as shadows of a former self. For now you feast. Now you rest. Now you know, and still you do not rest in the outer riches, though they are many, though they are glorious, for they are but the natural extension of your inner conviction. You are not owned by the wealth, for you did not chase it, you called it. It came to serve you, not enslave you. It came because you claimed it in consciousness, and now it flows in your experience, as effortlessly as breath, as naturally as dawn follows night. You begin to move through life differently now. There is a grace in your steps, a silence in your soul. You do not speak from desperation. You speak from fulfillment. You are no longer striving to become. You are remembering who you are. You are the child of the Most High, and the I am that you are is the wealth itself, not the symbol of wealth, but the power behind it, not the paper, not the number, but the creative force that brought it forth. And when you said, I am a millionaire this month, it was not vanity. It was truth. It was alignment. It was the still voice of God within you, speaking again as it did in the beginning, and you heard it this time. You believed it. You did not ask the world's permission to claim it. You did not wait for a sign. You became the sign. Everything external is catching up now. The reality is rushing to match the vision. But your peace does not come from the arrival of money. Your peace comes from knowing the law, from understanding that the outer always comes after. That all things are made in the image of your sustained assumption. You have shifted dimensions. You walk in the world but not of it. You no longer ask, can this happen for me? Instead you ask, what do I now choose to assume next? You are free, and freedom is the greatest wealth of all. And so, beloved, as you stand in the quiet power of your own inner authority, remember this. The moment you dared to say, I am a millionaire this month, the universe responded with a resounding yes. You no longer beg, no longer hope, no longer chase. You assume, you embody, you become. For creation is finished, and all that is yours awaits your recognition. Live now as the one who already has. Feel now as the one who already is. And watch, with calm certainty, as the world bends, not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you truly are. The operant power, the living I am, and the master of all that appears. This is your month, not someday, not soon, this month. Walk in it, own it, be it.